This is Abe Friedhanser from Awards Watch, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Elijah Allan-Blitz about the short film Remembering. How are you, Elijah?
I'm great, Abe. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm not sure we could start this conversation with anything but where did the idea for this film come from?
Oh man. So the idea of the idea really came from I was really inspired by the work of Elizabeth Gilbert. And she talks about how ideas are something that come to us, not from us, and that they are conscious entities that exist around us that are not necessarily manifest in physical form. And so that was kind of the genesis of where I wanted to jump off with this and explore not only where do ideas come from, but where do they go when they're forgotten? Can we reconnect with them? What is that creative essence that like we're in touch with? Like what do we prioritize in terms of being distracted to say that I want to focus on this idea, or I'm going to pick up my phone right now? And anyway, that's kind of the where this initially started with the idea.
Well, for a film that's not even 10 minutes long, it's quite visually ambitious. Can you talk about how you went after the look?
Yeah. Oh, it's very visually ambitious. What's amazing is that we actually started this project began as something that we were just going to do during the pandemic in our backyard. Like that little girl in the film was our neighbor, and we were just we just wanted to be creative. And when I connected with the team at the Disney Studio Lab, and they said, "Oh, well, we're interested." And they read the script, and we started talking about what we could do. It became much bigger than something we could do in our backyard, and so the world of imagination really opened up to us with the possibility of utilizing these LED walls. So if people aren't familiar with that technology, it's used like on the Mandalorian and some of the new Star Trek stuff. But it's basically replacing blue screen. So it's an enormous room with you could call them gigantic TVs, like 25-foot high TVs, like almost in a 360-degree sphere. But what it allows is for the actors and everyone on set to really not just for lighting, but to see what they're looking at, not pretend like, oh, look at the little tennis ball up in the screen, in the corner, and pretend that it's a monster. It's like, no, you're fully in that world, and especially working with a child actress with Dusty, who's not, she's never acted before. That's just her. What you saw is really that's who Dusty is, and so to be able to create these worlds where she could walk on set, and we never once called action. We would just have the cameras rolling. She'd walk on, and she would just react to all the stuff she saw around her, the unicorns, the rainbows, the dolphin clouds, the waterfalls, all those things were there and things that she was looking at and seeing. And so that, I mean, we spent so much time working with the incredible team at Magnopus to design all of those virtual worlds before we put them up on the screen. And I mean, that was such a fun process for myself. I mean, just, working with artists and coming up with ideas and just, tuning in, what does that world look like? And also with a lot of input from Dusty, saying, what is the world of imagination? And we've been able to show a bunch of kids this, and we asked them, of course, so how did we do? Like, is this what the world of imagination looks like? And they're like, yeah, that's pretty much it. One girl said, she's like, oh, I think there might be more butterflies. But other than that, I think we did our best.
I think it's nice too because it really is a film for all ages. I think it's short enough that any adult who says, "I don't need to watch this," for kids, it's 8 minutes. What are you gonna? Why not? It's a perfectly pleasant and again visually appealing. And for kids, I feel like it's such an immersion into something that it may feel again like the whole world, which is really very cool and not something we see all the time. I think it's hard to find something that really works for for all ages on a level like that.
Right on, man. Thank you. That's really what we were going for with all this whole thing.
And so, when did Brie Larson become involved?
Brie was actually there from the beginning. Brie was actually the one who said to me, she's like, you should make a movie with Dusty. It was during the pandemic that she was giving Dusty and her sister art lessons, and she just would hear these incredible things that Dusty would say. And Brie just is a genius, like not just acting. Brie is a legitimate genius, and she was just like, she just saw it. She was like, you need to make a short with Dusty. And so I kind of had this idea and was coming up with the different ways of how it would work, and then thinking about it, and then just put it together into the script, and just the snowball effect happened and the universe kind of took over, and it was like, oh, and Disney wants to be part of it, and it became this, like I said, a much bigger thing than something in our backyard.
Do you think Dusty is going to act again?
That's up to Dusty. I've heard her say multiple answers when she's asked that question. So if my hope is that if she wants to, hopefully we created, like, she had a fun environment with us, and if that's something she wants to do, I hope she does. But I mean, she is just free. That is a free spirited being, and I want her to do whatever she wants to do.
Well, if you're watching this interview, you can also watch Remembering, which is available on Disney Plus. Thank you so much, Elijah, and best of luck with this film in the future.
Thank you so much, Abe. I appreciate you taking the time.